Most people are using Claude Code completely wrong. They open the terminal, they see a black screen, and they close it within 30 seconds. They assume this is only for real developers. It's not. I do not know a single coding language. I've never written a line of code in my life, and I use Claude Code to run and build products that do tens of thousands of dollars a month. Claude Code is not asking you to become a developer. It's asking you to become a better operator. And once you understand that difference, it becomes one of the most unfair tools on the internet. This video is going to show you exactly how to use it like a CTO, a Chief Technical Officer, even if you have zero technical background. Let's get in. Look, the biggest misconception is that the terminal, when the terminal opens, that means you need to be technical. That is where most people mentally eliminate themselves. They see code flying across the screen and assume, this isn't for me. Here is the first thing I want you to know. Claude Code is not even just a terminal tool anymore. I mean, you can run it in the terminal, but you can also run it in the desktop app or in the web app at Claude.ai/code or directly inside of VS Code or JetBrains or whatever. It has literally the same capability across whichever of these services that you prefer. And here is what it actually is. It is the same Claude you know from the chat interface, same level of intelligence, same reasoning. It runs on Claude Opus 4.7 with a 1 million token context window, which means it can hold basically your entire code base in its head at once. The difference from chat is that it can see your entire project. It reads every file and understands the structure and can make the changes across multiple files at the same time. In chat, you paste snippets and Claude gives you suggestions. In Claude Code, you point it at your project and it builds directly inside it. That is the real difference. Not that you need to know how to code. It is that Claude can now touch real production work instead of just talking about it. You still talk to it in literally plain English or whatever language. You still describe what you want. You still review what it does. The skill is not coding. The skill is directing. Let's get into CTO mode. So what does it mean to use Claude Code like a CTO? A CTO is not someone who writes code all day. A CTO decides what should be built, what matters most, what the constraints are, and what success looks like. That's the mindset I want you to have whenever you're using Claude Code. A random user says, build me a website. A CTO says, build me a landing page for this product. Here's the audience for it. The more clarity you give Claude Code, the better it performs. This is not just my opinion, by the way. Anthropic's own documents say the same thing. Give Claude a way to verify its work, to test itself, expected outputs, screenshots, something it can check against, essentially. So the first big lesson is this. Claude Code is not about coding skill. It is about specification skill. Your job is to define what good looks like. Claude's job is to build it. Now, let me show you the specific features that make Claude Code different from just chatting with Claude in the browser, essentially. Number one, Claude.md. This is the single most important feature nobody almost talks about. Claude.md is a file that sits inside your project. You write your project's rules on it once, what the tech stack is, what conversations to follow, what to avoid, the things to do and not to do, how the code should be structured, what commands you can run to test it, fill in the blank. Every single time you start a new session, Claude reads this file automatically and it never forgets your rules. It never needs to be rebriefed. This is literally how a CTO operates, or any employee operates. You set the standards once and everyone on the team follows them. The team member just happens to be an AI that actually reads the documents every time. Pro tip, by the way, run /init/init inside /init, you know, like the British. Init, mate. Run /init inside your project and Claude will analyze the code base and draft a first version of Claude.md for you. Then you can edit it or keep it concise. I recommend you keep it between 50 to 200 lines and focus on things Claude cannot figure out by just, reading the code itself. Number 2 is plan mode. Before Claude starts building anything, you can hit the Shift tab twice to enter plan mode or literally just write /plan. It will analyze your code base, think through the approach, it will consider trade-offs, and it will essentially present you with a step-by-step implementation plan before writing a single line of code. This is exactly what a CTO does as well. They review the plan before the dev starts coding. It can also catch bad decisions before they cost you hours of free work. I use plan mode on every major new feature now that I'm building. It saves me an insane amount of time because you catch the wrong approach before it gets built. Now, number 3, skills and /commands. This is where a huge amount of real CTO leverage lives and almost nobody is talking about it yet. Skills are reusable playbooks. You type a /command and a structured workflow kicks in. /review reviews your pull request a specific way. /security-review scans your pending changes for vulnerabilities. /init, which we just covered, sets up a new project so that any workflow you do more than twice becomes a skill. Your team's institutional knowledge can essentially be compressed into one command. Now, number 4, hooks. Hooks are commands that systems run automatically at specific moments. Before a tool call, after a file edit, when Claude finishes a task. If you want to auto-run your linter every time Claude writes code, hook it. If you want a notification when a long task finishes, hook it. Want to block risky commands? Hook it. This is how you enforce process without having to remember to ask for it every time. It's the difference between a junior dev who breaks the rules and a senior dev who has internalized the process. Number 5, MCP servers. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It is how Claude Code connects to other tools. You can plug it into Gmail, Google Drive, Notion, Slack, your own database, whatever your workflow depends on. Now, Claude is not just building inside your code base. It can read your Notion docs for context. It can respond to emails and update your calendar, all from the same interface. This is when it stops feeling like a coding tool and starts feeling like a chief of staff. All right, number 6, subagents. Claude Code can spawn child agents. I don't mean literal child agents. Let's just stick to calling them subagents that work on different parts of your project at the same time. One researches the code base, for example, one implements the feature, one runs tests, one reviews the code. You get where I'm going with this. They work in isolated contexts, so they do not clutter each other. And they can even use separate copies of your code base through work trees, so there are no merge conflicts. This is like having a small engineering team instead of just one developer, and you run the meeting. Finally, number 7, one of my favorites, ultra think. Ultra think. When you hit a genuinely hard problem, you can just type the word ultra think in your prompt and Claude will spend significantly more time reasoning through the problem before responding. Obviously, with more thinking time, it's more expensive in terms of token spend, but for architecture decisions, things like complex debugging or anything where a fast, strong answer is worse than a slow, right one, it's worth it every single time. There are lighter versions too, Think, if you just type think, triggers some reasoning. Think hard goes deeper. Ultra think is the heavyweight. It will literally start
bouncing in colors when you type it in.
And here is a bonus round. I'll give you this one. Auto memory. Claude Code now has a persistent memory system across all sessions. It remembers your role, your preferences, your project's context, your feedback. You tell it once that you never want M dashes in your copy and it remembers. You tell it your preferred testing framework and it remembers. You tell it who the key stakeholders of your projects are and it remembers. This is the thing that makes it feel like a long-term team member instead of just a contractor you have to onboard from scratch every single session. All right, let me give you the exact workflow I use. Step 1, brief Claude like you are briefing a senior developer. Don't say something like, build me a thing. Explain the context. What exists, what you want to change, why it matters, what good looks like. This is super important. What should not break. One of the most powerful lines you can add to any prompt, and something that I use all the time, is ask me clarifying questions until you are fully clear before you start. That single line saves hours of wasted back and forth. Step 2, use plan mode before big changes. For any feature that touches multiple files or takes more than 5 minutes, enter plan mode first. Review that plan that it gives you and push back on anything that seems wrong. Then just let it execute. Step 3, parallelize. Why did I put that word in? Why did I choose that word? Parallelism. Use subagents. There you go. That's an easier way. I don't know why I went with that word. If the work has independent tracks, tell Claude to spin up subagents to do them at the same time. Sometimes it'll even just spin them up itself if it judges that that's what's best and that's what's fastest. Step 4, review outputs like an operator, not a coder. You do not need to read every line of code. You need to check, does it work? Does it match my goal? Does it create new problems? Does it break anything that was already existing before? Open the app that you're working on, click through it, test the flow, and if something is wrong, describe what's wrong in plain English and ask Claude to fix it. Step 5, iterate fast. The first output is rarely perfect, and that's fine. A CTO does not expect first drafts to be perfect from the team. They expect fast iteration. Say what is wrong, say what needs to change, and let Claude fix it. Check again and repeat that process. Most things take 2 to 4 rounds before they are right. That is still dramatically faster than hiring a developer and waiting 2 weeks. Step 6, commit and ship. When it looks good, ask Claude to commit the changes with a clear commit message, push it, deploy it, and move on to the next thing. Now, let me be honest about the limitations. It still hallucinates sometimes. Claude will occasionally reference files that don't exist. It'll fabricate API versions or declare a problem solved when it's not. The Opus 4.7 model is significantly better at this than any of the older generations, but it still happens. This is why you review. This is why you test. That is why the CTO mindset matters. You're not blindly trusting the output, you're checking the work. It can also still get stuck. It will sometimes fail at something, try the exact same thing again, burn 30 minutes going around a loop, just trying the same thing over and over again, and never try a different strategy. When you see this happening, stop it. Say something like, that approach is not working, try a completely different approach. Redirect it like you would redirect a stubborn developer. And by the way, context is way better than it used to be. The old Claude Code content will tell you it loses the plot on long sessions. With Opus 4.7 and a 1 million token context window, that problem is basically solved for normal work. You can run a session for hours and it still remembers everything. That being said, if you are doing something gigantic, break it into focused sessions. Quality is always higher when each session has one clear job. Something for you to keep in mind. Claude Code does not replace judgment. Claude Code is an incredible builder, but it does not know your business. It does not know your customers. It does not know what matters most. It does not know your wife. It does not know your kids. Fill in the blank. That is still your job. The strategy, the priorities, the taste, that is CTO work. Claude handles the execution. It would be scary though, if Claude knew my wife. Like, I would instantly unplug it. Anyway, let me do the transition. Okay, cool transition in. Let me make this real. I use Claude Code to build and maintain ViralPen, an AI-powered article studio for X-creators. It's a full SaaS product with Stripe billing hooked up, Twitter OAuth, Postgres SQL database, all the fancy stuff. Before tools like this existed, dev agencies quoted us around $20,000 for a build like this. And then every extra feature was another $5,000, another delay, another dependency. With Claude Code, I built the entire Stripe integration, checkout workflow, webhook handling, and billing page in a single session. Features that would have been a 2-week sprint for a freelancer took an afternoon. I built a full security audit system, rate limiting across API routes, and plan-based feature gating in a single day. The old barrier used to be, I have an idea, but I cannot build it. That barrier is gone. All right. The final takeaway is simple. You do not need to become a developer to use Claude Code. You need to become someone who can define the outcome clearly, direct the machine confidently, review the output honestly. All right, I'm starting to sound like a poet. Who does not know it? I'll stop. The point I'm trying to make is that's what a CTO does. And that is what Claude Code lets you do, even if you have never written a line of code in your life. Like me. If you want me to do a follow-up showing the exact prompts, Claude.md setup, plan mode walkthrough, and the custom skills that I use every single day, drop a comment below and subscribe if you want more real breakdowns on AI tools, on agents, and how to actually use this stuff to build. I'll see you in the next video.